One big difference that I think Sufjan and I realized between like folk music scene and the ballet scene is that in ballet you don't want to show any effort, even though it's very hard, and in
folk music it's relatively easy, but you have to look like you're trying really hard.
Sufjan, tell us about Year of the Rabbit. It's kind of had a long and interesting journey, so let us know how that started.
Well, I'm primarily a singer-songwriter, but around the year 2000 I was in writing school, so I had kind of given up writing narrative songs, but I still had this sort of like musical desire to create, so I started in my spare time messing around with computer software, and that's basically where this music started, as electronic music. And I just used the Chinese Zodiac as a template and just decided to create these sort of electronic pieces that would somehow like evoke or simulate the kind of character of each of the animals. And that was just a hobby project, you know. And as soon as I was done with the writing program, I got back into songwriting. And this album was almost completely forgotten and kind of looked over for many, many years.
So this became Run, Rabbit, Run, which you released in 2007. And Justin, when did you first hear that, and what inspired you to choreograph to it?
I probably heard it maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I heard it on WNYC. The quartet was actually on the program, and they played a few of the movements, and so that was kind of the first time I heard this body of music, and I just thought to myself that this would be great for dance. Peter Martins, our director, was very open about letting me do whatever I wanted to do with this commission, and I told him I really wanted to see out this vision with this particular body of music. I asked Peter Martins if he would consider letting us orchestrate the music, because what I had envisioned for it was to work with a very large cast of dancers and present it in a very large venue. Then I approached Sufjan at that point and asked what he thought about orchestrating it.
So Sufjan, how does the composing process generally work for you?
I kind of work with my hands and my ears, and I'm a crafts person, so I do a lot of recording and overdubbing and then responding to what I hear. It's really just about instinct and just hearing and feeling, and you just know it. You just kind of feel if something's going in the right direction. With this music, it was so long ago, and I was working with a kind of a new medium, electronics. So to me, it was just about evoking and expressing a narrative without actually using language, which was kind of the first time I'd done that in a while. And I think it translates really well to dance because it's abstract, it's rhythmic, and it has a lot of idiosyncrasies and characters and weird sounds that can evoke meaning, but it's not explicit.
The original album, Enjoy Your Rabbit, is very kind of grand in scope. There's a lot of different layers. And the challenge that I had doing the very first arrangement was, how am I going to take the 4 most important voices of this music and make it work as a string quartet? So, but what I decided to do this time is I wanted to go back to the original and see if I could find some of the voices that I was not able to put into the string quartet version and see if it would work with the larger ensemble. But also I didn't want to take too much away from what Justin had been used to hearing all this time.
90 to 95% there. Just like the little details are not quite. I think that this is very good, the start. And then I think if you think about the body moving in 2 separate parts, like the lower half and then the upper half, then maybe when we go here, the lower half initiates this movement with the double rond de jambe, and then the upper half sort of follows through here. There, does that make sense? That's it, yeah. And you can look...
So Justin, how did you cast this ballet?
It was actually really great because Peter gave me complete freedom to cast it however I wanted. So, I really wanted to create a strong chemistry amongst the dancers and create this sort of like communal feel to the ballet. And so, I know all these dancers so well because I've been dancing in this company for six years now, I believe. And I've gotten to know their dancing really well. And so I was able to kind of very specifically handpick the cast. This is Joaquin De Luz dancing. It's from the movement Year of the Rabbit. In one of our meetings, I remember asking Sufjan about this particular piece of music, where the kind of inspiration comes for it, and he kind of described to me the way that rabbits outrun their prey, and they're not like the fastest creatures in the world, and what they do is they kind of dart back and forth, and they kind of juke out their predator in that way. It's actually very prevalent in the time signature of the music, 5/6, 5/6, constant repeat, and so I tried to kind of incorporate this idea into the choreography.